It's Fred Star, Cap Squad, Senior, Junior, Big E, J, I see. It's time for the real, it's time for the win. It's time for the Sons to Father podcast show again. Make sure you're tuning in. Life struggles, current events, sports talk. I'm talking all angles of life from boys to men. The Sons to Father show. The Sons to Father show. Sons to Father show. The Sons to Father show. Sons to Father show.
Hey, shout out to Fred Star with our intro. Sons to Fathers TV. You got Senior here.
Junior here.
Big J here.
Big E here.
And welcome to episode 4 of Sons to Fathers TV. This episode we're going to call Generation versus Generation.
Yeah, it goes without mention that our generations are completely different. So we're here to talk about it.
Yeah, they're definitely different. I was born in the 80s. Junior was born in the 2000s. Matter of fact, all y'all were born in the 2000s. So,
My 2000 was different from Big J's 2000 though. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
And mine, most definitely.
All right, but I mean, before we get into the episode, let's see how everybody's doing. I hope you're out there quarantining safely out there, and that you taking this time and taking full advantage of it, and doing something productive.
Yeah, stay safe and spend time with your family.
That quality time is needed. Spend time with your loved ones.
Absolutely.
Spend time with your loved ones.
If you have someone out there that maybe you haven't spoken to in a while, this is probably a good time right now. Just to give them a call to check up on them, just to see how everything is going and make sure that they're okay.
Yeah, because they might need it in this time, with the whole corona thing, but we're not going to get into that.
All
Let's
right.
stay on a more positive topic.
For real.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so go ahead, Junior.
So yeah, like I said, our generations was completely different. I was born in the early 2000s, and someone like Big J over here was born in the later stages of the 2000s. My father, of course, the 80s, and a lot of Big E.
2000s still.
Yeah, he's not too far from me, but like I'm saying, like all of our times are different. So we're gonna just talk about music, sports, clothes, all that, like how everything was different, and
From each
kind of compare and
generation.
contrast them all. You got something to listen to during this time of need. All right, what do y'all want to start with? Music, sports, or clothes?
I guess sports.
Sports.
Yeah, sports.
All right. Number one question for you, Dad. Which was bigger back in your time, football or basketball?
I think basketball. I would say basketball was bigger.
But didn't they say football was America's sport back then?
The Cowboys was America's team. I don't know about football was America's sport. Baseball was America's pastime. But I mean, football was. I wasn't really paying attention to football much back then. I was more into basketball. To me, basketball was everything back then.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah, that was the Michael Jordan time, Scottie Pippen time, Shaquille O'Neal, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller. You had a lot of good ball players back then.
Yeah, I wish I was able to see all that, especially like Shaq back in his prime. That would be tough.
Oh, Shaq in his prime was a problem.
Shaq back then.
I think his rookie year, he broke 3 or 4 backboards his rookie season.
He broke a backboard like
That's
every
crazy.
year.
Yeah.
But like right now, basketball, I'd say basketball is bigger than football. Football ratings have been going down lately, and the whole XFL thing is taking away viewership from the NFL. So yeah, I'll say basketball right now is bigger than football too.
Well, basketball right now is probably
Biggest.
it might be the biggest. Well,
Soccer.
Basketball is probably soccer is the
Soccer
biggest
is
sport. Yeah.
the biggest in the world.
But as far as America's concerned, I think that basketball might be the biggest right now, simply because you have more games and the playoffs are more intense. Whereas football, we're here for 16 weeks and then we hit the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, football has Sunday and Monday and Thursday night on Smash. Doesn't matter what's going on, you're gonna watch football on either Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. And I don't think that's ever going to change.
Yeah, basketball is every day. So
basketball is every day. Me personally, I don't think basketball gets good into the playoffs though.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like, into the playoffs, they actually start trying more. I would say.
During the regular season, nobody really cares about that. I mean, you got players that put up like 50 points, they'll take off. It doesn't mean anything until you start getting to the playoffs.
I don't know, because what if it's your team that doesn't make the playoffs? You're gonna watch every single game.
I'm still gonna watch the playoffs if my team doesn't make it to the playoffs.
It says every Knicks fan too. All right. So another question that everyone wants to know: is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan?
See, you can't really compare them.
I knew he was gonna do that.
You can't compare them.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't. They do two different things. Michael Jordan took a game over. LeBron James can take a game over. Michael Jordan is not going to pass the ball in clutch time. LeBron James is going to pass the ball in clutch time. Now, LeBron, all around better player, probably. Scoring wise, no way better than Jordan. As far as being feared on the court, no. Jordan was feared when he came on the court.
I don't know about that scoring part. People always underrate LeBron scoring. LeBron can score on anyone he wants to. He's always especially when he was young in the Miami Heat. He was the biggest on the court at all times. He could have scored on anybody he wanted to, but he didn't need to because he had other options like Dwayne Wade and stuff like that. Kyrie Irving, like he doesn't need to.
For his size, yeah. I mean, he's a beast. Like Jordan was what 6'6"? How tall is LeBron?
6'8".
All right, 6'8", but he was what 240, 230 solid or something like that. Like Jordan wouldn't weigh that much. But if you also look at the game now. When Jordan played, the game was more physical. Right now, you can't even touch anybody right now on the floor.
LeBron's built for that back then too. Like LeBron, the way he's built, you don't think he would be able to handle that?
No.
Yes, he would.
You're talking about something that you never watched the Charles Oakleys. You never watched when the Bulls played the Knicks in the playoffs to see who was coming out of the Eastern Conference.
I did, however, watch when LeBron came back 3-1 to the greatest team of all time.
Jesus Christ.
73-9. LeBron came back 3-1, took over the series.
In the NBA that lives and dies by the 3-point shot now.
Back in the day, I don't think it was the same, yeah.
Back in the day, it was less 3-point shots.
So, Rod, you think LeBron's better than Michael?
Oh, most definitely. Without a doubt.
Why?
I just said so. All right, look, LeBron can rebound. He could pass. LeBron, at the end of the game, is going to make the game-winning play. Michael Jordan, we already know he's going to take a shot. He rarely passes, besides that one pass to Steve Kerr.
Well, that's his job. If you're the greatest, you take the shot. That's just what you do.
If you're the greatest, you're going to make the winning play.
I mean, that goes to look at it from the generational gaps, I say, because whenever the game was on the line, Michael Jordan wasn't passing the ball. John Starks was always going to shoot. Reggie Miller was not going to pass the ball. Like the stars of NBA teams, Kobe wasn't passing the ball.
Kobe was definitely not passing.
Like they took, this is what they played for. They lived for this moment with there's 8 seconds on the game. We're down by 2. We're down by 1. I got the ball in my hand. I'm gonna make the closest person to that right now is James Harden.
That's gonna take the shot then.
That's gonna take the shot.
Yeah, James Harden's not passing the ball. I can't see him.
Yeah, you're probably right. James Harden.
He's gonna do a step back and just pull it.
I hate James Harden.
Well, I mean, you can hate him all you want to, but that's the mentality players had back in the 90s and early 2000s. Like nobody was. I get the whole team sport, but I'm not kicking the ball. I want that. Like they paying me this money. I'm taking that shot.
Yeah, back on James Harden, you said the game was different because of the physicality. Now imagine if James Harden played in the 90s, would not work. He's taking like
he's not
20
physical.
free throws. Taking like 20 free throws a game.
He's not a physical player like that.
Yeah, he just stays at the 3 most of the times. So, who are the most famous athletes compared to now? Like Michael Jordan and them?
Yeah, like when I was growing up, Michael Jordan was probably the biggest. I mean, you had Derek Jeter, but he was a young Derek Jeter at the time. He didn't really start coming into his own until like the 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah. Football. I mean, you had Emmitt Smith. He was a pretty big deal. Early 90s, maybe Joe Montana a little bit. That was probably, I mean, to me, those were the ones. I follow baseball, so I know more about baseball than I did, football at the time. Now, baseball, I mean, I was a big Darryl Strawberry fan. Followed A-Rod a little bit. But, I mean, like, a lot of people don't really follow baseball. But
Yeah.
basketball-wise, you had your Michael Jordans, you had your Shaquille O'Neals. Kobe was coming into his own at that point. Alonzo Mourning. You had a lot. You had a lot more stars in basketball.
I feel like now there's more stars due to like social media, so like they're able to expand their brand and stuff like that.
What do you mean?
Like you could connect with your fans through social media. You know, there's people that get famous through social media. So I feel like athletes, they're gonna get bigger because of social media too. Like people like who? People like I can't name one off the top of my head, but Usain Bolt, he's up there. LeBron James and Cristiano Ronaldo. Like all sports are diverse now because of social media. People are able to talk about those athletes
Maybe.
and spread their opinions and stuff like that.
So let's get into a new topic. So let's get into music. How was music back then compared to how it is now?
The people the rappers, the singers, the R&B singers, they had lyrics back then.
I knew he was gonna do.
I mean, they really talked about some stuff that we wanted to hear. It wasn't always. I mean, I can understand every single word that they said, every single word. Even when Lil Wayne started coming into his own, I could still understand Lil Wayne. But after Lil Wayne, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna blame Future for that. The whole mumble rap thing that started. Now after that, I don't know what these kids are talking about anymore.
Wait, so Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Because he was from the East Coast.
Yeah.
But which one would you say was more well, I know you're gonna say Biggie.
About what?
Lyrical.
No, Pac had lyrics.
You think Pac was more lyrical?
They both had lyrics. It depends on what side are you on. Like I'm from the East Coast, so I'm gonna naturally go with Biggie, but I'm not a fool. I've listened to Pac stuff. Pac was talking Pac was talking some shit.
That might be the difference between generations too. Because since you were alive back then,
I was alive back then.
Since you were alive back then, you were able, like, you and your friends listened to Biggie because you're from the East Coast. Like, if you're from the West Coast, you're gonna listen to Tupac. But since, you know, I'm like newer, I guess. I don't know. I could listen to both of them without any bias, and I like Tupac more.
I mean, I really don't listen to Tupac or Biggie, really.
You see that side?
Why?
You gotta hear him, man.
I don't listen
You
to both
uncultured.
any.
You see, this is the problem with these new kids.
You're barely old.
Let me tell you, when Biggie dropped Life After Death, the world stopped. Like the world stopped. I mean, that album was Biggie taking the crown. Like Jay-Z was still there. Jay-Z was still on his come up, but that was Biggie saying, "This is mine. Like this is mine." And I believe it was a double CD, if I'm not mistaken. And back then, to have a double CD, you spending your money at the record store and you get a double CD on top of it.
What is so big about a double CD?
Yeah, I never even heard of that.
A typical CD would come out, you have like 12, 13 songs. You get a double CD, you got 26 songs.
So you had a lot of songs on that album.
So who were famous artists back in the day, like instead of Biggie and Tupac?
Yeah, because they're the more well-known ones of the 90s.
But as far as rappers,
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to
From,
be
like,
rappers,
the
but,
late-
like artists. Like,
it's like the late 90s to 2000s.
Yeah, you could say that.
You had Biggie, you got Jay-Z, you had Nas, the Fugees.
who?
Who are
The
the
Fugees.
Fugees?
I know you
Oh my God.
I never even heard of that.
Jesus Christ. I never heard of Lauryn Hill,
No.
Oh, yes, I did. Yo, yeah, I like her.
Wyclef Jean,
No.
No.
Croswell.
No.
Never.
This is
Lauryn Hill is tough, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no hope for y'all. But I would say, like, back then, like in Big Pun, DMX had the game on smash for a few years. Yeah, DMX was, I mean, this was music back then. This was real music. Swiss Beats came on the scene and made beats. Like, Swiss Beats had a Casio keyboard that he made every beat from. Like, this was music back then. Now you guys listen to this. I mean, y'all got fake drums and all this other stuff, whatever, snares and stuff.
That's a producer?
808s, huh?
Yeah.
Swiss Beats is a producer?
Yes. What?
I've never heard of him.
Isn't that like Alicia Keys'?
Yeah, I mean, he just sounds like a producer from
Yeah, he's married to Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
Well,
him?
you know, obviously you don't know anything about my time. So what are y'all listening to?
Like the top artist now?
Whatever. Who are you listening to?
Oh, easy. Simple. Nah, Big E, I want you to answer this question first.
Listen
saw
to
my
people
list.
like Drake, Meek Mill, Pop Smoke, Lil Uzi, people like that.
Little
That's
Uzi.
my list, man.
Yeah.
Alright, so my list is pretty diverse, I'd say. You know, Lil Uzi, he's pretty much at the top right now. You got NBA Youngboy, you got Lil Baby, and you know, you got the late and great X. Not gonna get into that. And you got also people that changed the game, like Playboy Cardi. He's a GOAT.
He changed the game.
He's the reason for Mumble Rap, I think.
Jesus
I really think he's the reason for this.
I don't even know why we're having this conversation.
Playboy
right now.
Cardi is a game
So
changer.
those are your best rappers right now.
Oh nah, Playboy Cardi's not.
I'm sorry, I asked you who you listening to right now. Those are the people that you're listening to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean that's trash.
You're
Just letting you know.
What? First of all,
Your list is trash.
well, all right. What? Who do you listen to?
You put Little Uzi Vert.
Little Uzi Vert is a what? Everyone listens to Little Uzi Vert.
But
Did
what
you
is he
see his
saying?
album?
What is he saying? You know what? You guys are listening to guys that talk nothing about. It's not even like in my generation. They was talking about robbing, stealing, and killing.
Okay.
Y'all listen to people that talk about how much drugs they do.
So,
That's all they talk about is how much drugs they do. Like I mean, they made it cool where if you're not doing drugs, then you're not cool. Like that's the stupidest shit I heard.
So it's cool to kill people? Like
It was a different era back then.
Exactly, it's a different era.
But they wasn't actually rappers wasn't actually killing people though. I mean, there's one thing you talking about. I'm not saying that you should glorify it in any way. You shouldn't.
All right, yeah, you're right.
But I mean, they were talking about stuff that they weren't doing. Now some of them were doing it, but majority of them they weren't doing it. But now every rapper that you listen to right now talking about how much drugs they're doing, how much lean they're drinking, how many pills they're popping, and they're actually doing it.
You know whose fault that is?
Whose fault is that?
Lil Wayne.
Don't blame that on Lil Wayne.
Exactly, it's Lil Wayne's fault.
Don't blame that on Lil Wayne.
That's not Lil Wayne's fault.
Not that I recall. No.
It's definitely Lil Wayne's fault. And you said him too. Lil Wayne.
Well, I mean, eventually Wayne did start. But see, there's two sides to Lil Wayne. You have Lil Wayne when Lil Wayne was Cash Money, and he was a hot boy. Then you have Lil Wayne after the Hot Boys broke up, and Lil Wayne became this mega star. That Lil Wayne is different from the Lil Wayne that I knew, and I like both Lil Waynes. I was messing with Lil Wayne when he was a hot boy, and then he just broke off and he did his own thing. He dropped the Carter, he dropped the Carter 2, dropped the Carter 3. I was a fan of all of them. Had every album. I mean, eventually, did he start going into that? I guess maybe, but the times were changing at the time. You have Future talking about the same thing.
Because Future got inspired because of Lil Wayne.
Oh, stop it.
And if you want to talk about it, the whole trap music, T.I. is the one that started all that.
T.I. was talking about getting money,
T.I. was literally the godfather of trap music.
but he was talking about getting money though in the trap house.
That's what.
He wasn't talking about taking drugs.
Is that not what? Is that not
He was
what,
talking about selling drugs.
Is that not what Lil Baby and 21 Savage talk about?
He said, "Little baby."
Lil Baby.
That's
20
your
Lil
age.
Baby is
Those are
What?
your people. Like this is your generation.
exactly generation versus generation. I could say a couple people from your generation. Are
I'm not
trash.
having this conversation. with you.
Okay,
Like,
so-
your thoughts
Like,
are
I can't
trash
listen.
right now.
Like this is gonna get people.
Your-
So-
your
Older
thoughts-
generation gonna get mad at this. I cannot listen to Method Man.
Everybody.
That's too-
What?
I can't listen to Method Man. I feel like
Wu-Tang Clan? Are
I
you
can't-
serious?
I can't listen to Wu-Tang Clan.
Because you don't understand what they're saying. You don't understand the mathematics of what they're talking
Exactly.
about. Because that's above you. You're not opening your mind
I
to certain
guess, I
things.
guess.
All right, but you won't listen to them, but you'll listen to Little Uzi Vert.
Lil
Lil
Uzi
There you
Vert,
go.
Uzi Vert is very.
like he's not even bad.
I mean, he's talking about drugs.
You literally was just singing his song the other day.
I mean, I've seen catchy things that come to my mind. I don't play it in my
He
car.
makes catchy songs. He's one of the top rappers right
All
now.
right, whatever. All right, let's go top 5 rappers then versus now. For me, let me start then because I'm the only one who was back then.
Mhm.
Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Eminem, and mind you, I'm going to like the late 90s, early 2000s, and I would say Kanye. Kanye was killing it back then. I want to give it to Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne came like later. He came like 04, 05. That's when he started really just giving it to you.
This list is not fair.
I mean,
Because they already like, it's easy for you to say that because they already solidified their careers and stuff like that. And the
But
people
these
who
are the
say
guys.
now,
But these
I
are the
feel like
guys that I was listening to.
they
You
might
and
mess
you know
up.
what? These guys, every last one of them I named, put out albums. They still here. Well, I mean, rest in peace, Biggie. But everybody else is still here. They can still drop music and they still have albums. Now let's listen. Give me some of the names that you got, because I already know Drake got to be in there.
Yeah, Drake.
I don't know.
There you
Most
go.
definitely. I would say Future.
Future was popping like when you was born. Like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
and then you know what? Why don't you throw like a little Kodak Black in there?
Nah.
See, he's locked up
That's
using
like
drugs.
Now that's wow. That's
Yeah.
wow.
Oh my.
That's not like he's not top of the generation though. Like he's too new.
But the thing is, like, I can actually name people that have been around for years. None of you guys, the people that you're naming, they're not gonna be around for years. Who got the hot song right now? And then it's gonna move on. There's not gonna be no. Well, I remember when I bought a DMX album, bro. Every song on the album they played damn near on the radio. Now, this dude could drop a album out. They'll play one song. He got a hot track. That's it. He'll go on tour with that one song. Maybe try to slide another one in there.
What were you talking about?
NBA Youngboy, Blueface, and Elite Chopper.
Continue.
Keep going.
Yeah, he's about to get parental controls put on your stuff.
All right, so for the generation, my
I
top
really
five,
don't
I'll
have
say
electronics.
Drake, of course. You know, he sells records. Future, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole for sure, and Meek Mill.
I would say for your generation right now, Drake,
Yeah.
J. Cole, Kendrick, Cardi.
Cardi, what?
Cardi B.
She's the hottest right now.
I mean,
She is the hottest female rapper. Who's hotter than Cardi?
You
Who?
put Cardi B?
She's hotter than most.
Wait, so who's the last person on your list? Who did you leave out?
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
are you kidding me? No.
Dog, the dude is a genius. Like, you can say whatever you want to about him. Every album he put out is sold. Every single thing he put out sold. And he's still here. He went to jail, hasn't put out music, and everybody's waiting for him to put out his first album right now.
We don't even know if he can rap anymore.
Oh, he will. He got these 2 albums coming out.
So wait, you left out Meek Mill.
No, I didn't.
You have Meek Mill in yours.
I didn't say it. So I didn't leave him out.
Oh, Meek Mill.
He didn't make my list.
Tekashi was only hot for like a year.
Yeah, he was only out for about a year.
And
But
you just said
it was
that.
a hell of a year, though. I tell you that.
I
Nah,
doubt
he did
that
have,
he's
like-
gonna be still
he had a
saying
lot
the
of-
same
Every
music.
song he put out went up to number
Every
like,
song
at
was
the
top
Billboard.
Yeah,
Every
but it's not
song
gonna
was
happen
top
no
10.
more.
You don't know that?
We don't. I mean,
Let Tekashi release another album.
He's
As
probably,
much as you don't like him, and y'all can say whatever you want to, you're gonna listen to it.
he's not gonna put out the same music he was before.
What
though.
is
It doesn't
gonna rap
matter
about?
what
Like,
he
what is
puts
he gonna
out right
say?
now.
What
It
is
doesn't
he
matter.
gonna say?
But y'all forget, like, a majority of his fans are not U.S. citizens. Majority of his fans are from other countries. You think they care about all of this reputation he got in the United States? They don't care about that. They just want to see what he gonna do on Instagram and when he gonna put this new song out.
True.
That's it. He changed his IG logo, his avatar. To him laying in a mousetrap. Bro, I mean, come on now. But Meek Mill's dope though. I mean, he just didn't make my list. Dreams and Nightmares fire them.
Dreams and Nightmares. That was tough.
All right, new topic. Clothes. What were the major brands to wear back in the day?
Back in the day.
like I'm 50 years old.
I mean, you're
Back in
pretty
the
close.
day. Back in my day.
I mean, they wore Tommy Hilfiger. Yeah, Tommy Hilfiger was back then. Guess was back then.
Guess.
Yeah, Guess jeans. They were big back then. Yeah, you don't know anything about that.
Oh, okay.
Nike was always big.
Was Jordan big?
Jordan was Nike.
Oh, that's. Oh,
He doesn't know about
okay.
that, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, they had Gucci. Gucci wasn't as big as it is now back then, though. But I mean, they pretty much it
That's your.
that I can remember right now.
I would say that.
This is for clothing or like.
Yeah, clothes.
Alright, clothes.
Like the brands.
Yeah. Now Tommy Hilfiger is still hot.
Yeah, I
All
would
around
say the
Jordan.
same. Like Tommy, Gucci, Louis, Nike,
How you go
Jordan.
from Louis to Nike.
Just say like brands that are hot right now. Yeah, brands like that.
And like I think as far as footwear, I mean Jordans, we all had those back then. I mean you get a fresh pair of N1s and some Timbs. Yeah.
Now it's just
That's
Jordans, Nikes, Vans.
What shoes?
Yeah,
Vans, Uggs, Jordans. Crocs are coming back now.
Skechers.
Yeah, Crocs.
You said Skechers.
Do you prefer the fits then or the fits now?
I actually like the ones now.
Yeah, I was about to say
Back in
the
the day,
baggy, the
it was a
whole
baggy
baggy
clothes.
clothes thing was looking.
That was a
crazy.
movement, man. That was a movement.
You
I
were
look at
doing that.
pictures of that. That does not look right.
Well, I mean it was for the time. You got baggy jeans with some Timbs that fit it.
shorts was over your kneecaps, like far over your kneecaps.
Well, that's because they were sagging the shorts. I mean, different time back then.
I mean,
Just
now,
like now, everything is tight.
Now it's diverse. You could wear whatever. Like back then, you wear skinny jeans. You're looked at as like
Yeah, nobody wore
bad.
skinny jeans.
Yeah, I'm
back
about to say
then.
you're not looked at in the right way.
No.
But yeah, now you can wear skinny
yeah,
jeans. You can
I
wear
would
baggy
say-
stuff. You can wear
I'll
all
say
that.
fits now. I don't like the fits back in the day. They were just.
But you only know now. Like you
Yeah.
only know now. You don't know back in the day.
I seen pictures and stuff.
That's just
back
like I
in the
could say
day.
like when Michael Jackson was alive, I didn't like his clothes. I didn't wear his clothes back then.
I mean, I just don't see myself.
But you know how
wearing
history
those
repeats
clothes.
itself, how everything goes back around.
I don't think we're ever.
Yeah,
gonna
no
go
one's
back
gonna
to
wear
that.
Back in the day, they used to wear tight pants. Look at it.
Oh,
Look at all
they
those.
did.
Look at all the
Oh, they
videos and
did.
stuff. Yes, they did.
Michael Jackson though.
Uh huh.
If it ever goes back to the baggy, Crocs are coming back. I just realized.
No.
So yeah, history does repeat itself. I thought Crocs were dead.
I mean, slides have always been in. I had slides back in the day.
What kind of slides?
They weren't no name brand slides. Put it like that. All right, let's get out of here, man.
Alright, before that though, I want everyone to give their own opinion on how the 90s were compared to the 2010s.
How can you compare something that you weren't a part of?
Oh, we see pictures, the internet. That's a big difference between us.
The 90s was a lot more, I would say, freer. We didn't have cameras everywhere. We didn't have cell phones like that. I mean, we could go outside and didn't have to worry about this craziness outside. Nowadays, I mean, you can't even walk out of your front house without being on someone's camera somewhere or you being tracked through GPS somewhere. So I'd say the 90s.
Big E.
I mean, as far as that, I would say what Dad said, like back in the day, where like it was more freer. Now everyone has a camera, and everyone's just taking extra precaution. I would say.
Big J.
Back then.
You was just back then.
Yes.
You.
Yeah, like to piggyback off what Shah said, the 90s were a more, say, looser time. You can go outside in the 90s without having to like.
You could just be
Yeah,
free.
you could just be free. Yeah. Nowadays,
You don't have anybody to worry about. Back
I mean, I
then.
don't know about that, but nowadays you got, the world's just changed. I guess social media, you gotta watch how you carry yourself because you can end up exposed on social media.
Worry.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd rather be alive during the 90s. That time seemed lit. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, but it wasn't a Wi-Fi back then, so I don't know what you're going to do.
Oh.
Adapt to life.
Okay.
Talking to people.
Oh, okay. All right. On that note, we're gonna get out of here. Hey, thank you for listening. This has been episode 4. Again, sorry we didn't release it on Thursday, but we're working on getting that together. And again, just thanks for tuning in. Seeing you here.
You're out.
Big J out.
Biggie out.
Good night.
For sure. What's up, friend?